What's up guys, it's Light Spiral here with a Hall of Light B10 Farmable team video. So I'm going to get the run started, and if you haven't seen any of my other Farmable team videos, then I'll just kind of tell you that what I do in these videos is I go over how to get each of the 5 monsters, as well as what the point of them all are, as well as possible replacements that would make the run go faster or possibly smoother than the team I have displayed. Now, you can see that I have the rune builds of these 5 monsters on the left side. They're not all my rune builds, it's what the recommended rune builds are, and for some of the monsters I don't have the current runes to actually do what I have on the left side. And I also have possible replacements on the top. Right now I just have Viramos up there, but I was going to talk about other replacements that aren't farmable. So basically, the general strategy for Light B10 is you got to be able to survive the first 2 stages, which my Shannon actually did come very close to dying, but did not die. And if you had Viramos instead of Beretta with the Viramos leader skill, Shannon probably wouldn't have came that close to dying. But so basically you need to survive the first 2 stages and be able on the boss stage to tank it out and just deal dots at first, because for your first Light B10 team, which I'm going to assume that this is your first Light B10 team, given the fact that this is a farmable team video and you're watching it, so I feel like it is fair to assume that it's your first time doing this or trying to make a team for this dungeon. And depending on who these crystals attack, someone might die, but nothing happened. Okay, well, I'll just go over how to get all these monsters really quick. So the first monster I'll do is the leader, the fire Sylph. It's a fusion natural 4-star. It's not going to be that hard to get. This monster is the Light Inugami, Bella Dion. You can get her in a secret dungeon on Light Day. Same with Amon, the Light Bearman. You can get this one on a secret dungeon on Light Day. Then the Wind Griffin Bernard, you can get him in any Timor desert level. And you're going to be seeing me using Bernard in a ton of farmable team videos just because he's very good and farmable. And then the other monster is Shannon, the Wind Pixie. And you can get her through unknown scrolls very easily. And in terms of skill ups, you can technically fuse a ton of fire sylphs if you want skill ups for Beretta, although I wouldn't recommend that. If you really want to scale this one up, I would recommend that you just use Devilmons, but I myself have 0 skill ups on him because I don't care to use Devilmons on him. And for the Inugami, both the light and the dark Inugami have secret dungeons. The water Inugami you can get in Garen Forest, the wind Inugami you can get in Tulane Forest, and the fire Inugami you can get in Fame and Volcano. For the Bearmans, all 5 Bearmans have secret dungeons. For Griffins, the Wind Griffin you can get in Timor Desert, and the Fire and the Water Griffin both have secret dungeons. And for the Pixies, for Shannon, every Pixie you could get easily out of, well, not the light and dark, but you can get plenty of Pixies out of unknown scrolls. So basically the reason that Beretta's in this team is because the speed lead's obviously helpful, but the main reason is because the way you're going to be killing this boss is primarily through dots, because the boss's defense is so high because of this right here, the iron guard. If you can't, I was holding my hand on this one, but it makes it so his defense is crazy. So as you can see, the damage I'm doing, there's all like well less than 1,000. See right there, just hit for 15 damage. So at the beginning, you're gonna want to do dots to kill the boss. Of course, as you have monsters that ignore defense, that'll kill it quicker than the dots will most likely. But since it's the first team, I was gonna make it rely on dots. Now the reason Viramos I have in the top left up here as a possible replacement is because his first skill does dots. His leader skill will be helpful for this to make it so squishy monsters like Shannon won't die. And for the first 2 stages, the stuns are going to be really helpful for clearing the stages alive. And see, this team is not that fast, 424, but my fastest run is only 3 minutes. I don't have a speed team for this because I don't really have ignore defense monsters other than Lucian. And So what I was going to say is possible replacements. In terms of farmable possible replacements that I do not have up here, there's any daughters that you can find. So for example, the Wind Elemental, this one, he does dots on this skill, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend building that guy because he's not going to be useful anywhere really outside of this dungeon, or maybe Water B10. This guy does dots, Walter, and anyone else you can think of that's farmable, but I don't really recommend any of the other farmable daughters other than Beretta. And Viramos's dots are just helpful. I wouldn't consider him a daughter. But so there's a ton of non-farmable daughters that you can use, and there are other farmable daughters, like I believe the Water Cowgirl's a farmable daughter. Yeah, so you can get that one, or you can, if you can get the Wind Ninja Orochi, that one's going to be really helpful. If I can find him, so right here. This third skill, if you build with 100% crit rate, 100% accuracy, will do a lot of dots really often. And there's a ton of different daughters that you can use. I'm not going to go over every single one of them in this video, but basically that's how you're going to end up having success in this dungeon. Light B10 isn't really that hard of a dungeon, honestly, and you're going to notice that in a lot of my farmable team videos I use the same monsters that I use in my Giants B10 team, and that's on purpose because basically I'm trying to make it so you guys can kind of just build 5 units, maybe 6 units, and they'll kind of take you through the whole of the dungeons. So my Giants B10 team was that exact team you just saw with Viramos instead of Beretta, but as you can see in the top left, if you built Viramos instead of Beretta, that would work probably actually better. I just put Beretta in just in case some of you guys don't feel like doing Viramos, because it's a really big pain to build Viramos, because it takes about a month to get him, and then to awaken him and 6-star him, it takes about another month, so it's going to take you about 2 months to start from scratch and then get a 6-star maxed Viramos that's awakened. So it's just kind of a pain. I'm just going to let you see my runes just in case you're curious. And so on Beretta, you have Despair, Focus, Speed, HP. Like I said, I recommend accuracy, but it doesn't have it. Or here, I'm just going to show you the stats just so you can see what I have, just so you can kind of aim for something, because you can see that this team does work. So those are my stats on Beretta. Feel free to pause if you ever want to. Those are my Bernard stats. These are my Bella stats. Here's my Shannon stats. And here is my Almond stats. So that's really all I have for this video though, guys. Be sure to tell me in the comments if there's any other dungeons you're having trouble with, any level like B1 through B10 of any dungeon, but just note that with Necropolis I can't beat B8, B9, or B10, so I can't help you with those dungeons, and that's about it. But that's all I have for today, guys. So may the best here today's be the worst here tomorrow.